Welcome to the Sports Hangover. I'm Michael Benatar, joined alongside J-Dog.
Mike, it's been a while since I've seen you. How was your weekend?
Yeah, long weekend. It was good. We enjoyed ourselves. That's what we did. We enjoyed ourselves this weekend.
We enjoyed ourselves. All other information is redacted from the statement.
I mean, people probably don't know what we're talking about, but weirdly, I did get text messages from like family and like, why didn't anybody post anything on Instagram? That was like the one question. Like, what was going on? Like, we just didn't post until you posted like 3 days later.
I posted a group picture of us missing I guess we can say it because the boss,
Sure.
The casino boss said it, our fat friend. It's not my words. The casino boss called him that.
Yeah, it was great.
That was a highlight. But we played golf. We went on a boat. It was very eventful. We can't talk about a lot of it.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
And it happened, and it won't happen again.
And here we are. We're back. We're doing the show. We took a week off because it was a lot, to build up to it. It was a lot.
And I could use another week off because I'm still recovering. I think the group really went a little bit too hard, and we're all like not young, and there's fathers, and there's big time jobs going on here, and it's been a tough week.
I talked to our fat friend yesterday, and he can't walk. He's burnt. He's hungover. He can't sleep. I mean, it's a mess. He basically fell apart. He held it together and fell apart.
It was so hot. We were in a place. We're not even going to say the city because
never say the city.
Never say the city. It was 120 degrees, and it's like not like heat warning or anything, but it was actually 120 degrees. Like that was a real temperature outside. It was a sauna at all times. We were outside for 6 hours one day, 8 hours the next. Yeah, it was a lot.
It was a lot.
Never wanted to be inside of an air conditioned smoky casino so bad than there.
Yeah, I was just enjoying the cold air. It was great. What do you want to talk about today? I got a headline. I got some bullshit to believe. What do you want to go into?
Let's start with some NBA news. Hit the iPad.
Okay. Oh, iPad nowhere.
Not is that
NBA
still in the heat?
news? Yeah, it's still in the heat.
All right. Basketball playoffs are happening. I'm here in Phoenix right now, Mike, and the Valley is on fire, and not
Did you watch the
temperature wise. Yeah.
It was a good game.
The Valley is what they're calling it. It was a great game. It was a great ending. They beat the Clippers on the last play of the game. Very controversial. The last, 30 seconds took like the last 30 seconds took 30 minutes of the game.
Because there was
took a while.
They were viewed out of bounds. They were viewed multiple out of bounds. And then I loved the last play of the game. I don't even know who that guy's name is, but threw in the ball. It looked illegal to me. I was watching it on TV. I'm like, how's that legal? The dude threw it.
I think everyone thought it was illegal. The crowd didn't react at first. He ran away from the basket like this. Like no one knew that you could do that. Because it's so unlikely. There's 0.7 seconds left. If you don't know what happened, just Google Clippers Suns game 2 final play, and it'll be there. So that was in Phoenix last night. The Suns have a 2-0 lead on the Clippers. I wanted to shout out Paul George missed 2 critical free throws the end there. And if he makes 1 or 2 of those, the Suns can't get away with what they did. But where are you at with these 2 series?
Weirdly, that was the one game. I almost watched the entire game. I had it on. I was watching it. Wasn't really too into the Montreal Vegas game. A little slow. They were already up 3. I was like, all right, whatever. I'm just going to turn on this game. Watched it. I loved it. Now, I told you the other day, I think we were at a blackjack table or something. I said the Jazz, when I really meant the Suns, they're the ones that are going to go. Yeah, they were. I was excited for them because they looked really good. So I don't know if the Clippers can do it. I still don't know what's wrong with Kawhi, but I'm excited for him. I think this is great. I don't know if they've ever won an NBA title, but it seems like a nice little non-basketball city that can really appreciate it, unlike the LA teams over here where we have to build super teams to do it.
Well, that's what the Sports Hangover does. It goes to the story. We're known for our journalism.
And you're there. So
and
how's it going?
I'm here. So big news. Game 5 will be in Phoenix. I'll be staying next to the arena during Game 5. And
When's
so I'll be there. It's next week because they go to LA for 2 games now. So it's early next week. I'll be there. Maybe
you're going to
or come to Phoenix for one.
What day
I don't
is
know
the
if I'm
Phoenix
gonna go.
one?
It's expensive. It's like next Tuesday or Monday.
Let me know.
It's during the week. But it looked fun. I'm gonna check it out. But if not, I'll do a little live broadcast from outside the arena or something. Because the stadium or the arena is great. I think the fans are great here. They don't have many good teams. So it's great that they have some success. And it's weird because Chris Paul missed a few games and Kawhi's missed a few games, but they both could be coming back. At least Chris Paul should be coming back. So that'll be
awesome. I'm excited. You should definitely go to the game. I'm going to try to go to
So should you.
Yeah, well, I don't know about out here. They're a little more expensive out here than they are in Phoenix, but
I don't know. Clippers, we know those are cheaper than
they
Lakers.
were really cheap. Yeah, before the game. Maybe I'll try to scoop one up.
Speaking of NBA stars currently not in the playoffs, let's do a J-Dog takes on.
Oh wow, no sound here, no sound. Just J-Dog takes on.
I'm still tossing my segments out even without it. By the way, people can watch us right now, right?
Mm-hmm. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. Find us there. You can also go to the website and go to sportshangover.com and you can find it if you don't know where to find this on YouTube.
All right. So TSH investigates. We did it earlier in the season. Where are all the NBA stars? And you can read about it on the sportshangover.com. While you're there, buy a tank top for the summer, buy a shirt, do whatever you want there. Apparel, blogs, we have
There's some exclusive apparel up there. Michael Palooza.
It's exclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the Mike Palooza shirts are there?
Yeah, they're there. They're live.
What a hit. Those are good shirts.
They're great.
I think some people in our group might need to buy some more shirts.
Yeah, they might need to get some new ones.
Damage done. All right, so J-Dog is taking on these NBA stars who skipped games this year, and you can now look back on it and say, why'd you skip so many games, bro, if you're not going to go very far in the playoffs? So let's recap a few of them. Kevin Durant on the Brooklyn Nets. They lost a big game 7 when we were in Vegas. Mike, you were yelling at the blackjack table. I think I can publicly say that while I was watching the Nets lose game 7. He missed 60% of their regular season games this year. Why did he miss so many games if you're not even going to play in the playoffs? So
but didn't he score like the greatest shot to make it into overtime? Like he scored like 50 points or something that game to get
it was a buzzer beater, but his feet were on the 3-point line. So it was only a 2 to send him to overtime. If his feet were like 3 inches back, it's a 3. So maybe his court awareness would be better if he played in more games throughout the season.
Okay. Wow. Really taking shots at him right now.
Taking shots. Another one. Kyrie Irving. Bro, you missed 30% of your team's games this year. I hope you're rested for the offseason of rest. Cool story. Here's another one.
I wonder, hold real quick. I wonder, will that team come back together? Because that was my team. I really wanted Brooklyn to win.
Your team. Yeah. I was letting you off easy here. You know, you had the big celebration. I wasn't going to go there, but your team's out.
My predictions are falling short this year. I thought they were going to do it. Didn't happen.
It's harder to be Sportsodamus than you thought.
It's pretty hard. It's really, really hard. That one time I got lucky, whatever that quote was. Yeah.
Anthony Davis, bro, you missed 58% of your team's games. That's tough because you're in Malibu right now missing more games because your team's not in the playoffs anymore.
So what is the solution for these guys? I think we talked about it last time, but what do we do to make incentives for them? Because it's not money. It's like, okay, we can fine you $100,000, but like when you're making $50 million,
I have one more before I answer that question. Remember the 76ers blew like a 24-point second half lead last week? Joel Embiid, you missed 34% of your team's games. Why'd you rest up all just to blow a lead? What are you doing?
Do you really think
these guys?
Do you think it's his fault though? Because I thought Ben Simmons was really bad. Did you see all those memes afterwards of like him running away from the basket?
He didn't pass. He passed instead of shooting. Like he was under the basket and he didn't want to shoot it. He's kind of scared.
Yeah, he's definitely scared to shoot the ball. He's not.
And then his coach, Doc Rivers, he said, we're not going to have him back this year, next year.
He said that?
Yeah, basically, without saying it. He said
I want him back either if he's not going to shoot the ball. It's insane. But I love all the memes. Look up all the Ben Simmons memes. They are fantastic. I'll send some. They're so
you can
good.
tell we're a little rusty. Normally we'd have like a side-by-side screen here. We'd have the final play from the Suns game. We'd have the memes. We're just straight cameras today. We're still
you're lucky
trying to figure this out.
People are lucky they get to see us. Okay, that's how rough it was.
Yeah, the first day my camera's been on. What I was gonna say to answer your question is the players need to play. This is a business. The fans go to NBA games. Like I told you before, they don't pay less for League Pass when the guy misses a game. They don't pay less for tickets when a guy misses a game. So they need to be out there. If they're healthy, they need to be there most of the time. I get it if you take a game or two off. Missing these percentages of games, 30 to 60% of your games when you're the biggest players in the league, and it's not for injury so often, it's a problem for the league. And I think it's now rearing its head because you see these 4 teams left. They're not teams with stars. It's the Bucks and the Hawks and the Suns and the Clippers. They're not big markets. They're not big teams.
Well, LA is a big market, but not the team.
Yeah, if not really, they might as well be the Anaheim Clippers, right? I mean,
they might as well.
They're all right, second rate. So it's a problem. And I think the league's going to have to look at it in the offseason and say, damn, all these guys missed all those games and then they didn't even play in the playoffs. We need them to play during the regular season in case they're knocked out of the playoffs because we need them to play at some point.
So as you know, the true Sportsodamus, if you were the owner of the NBA, the president of the NBA, what would you put in place to guarantee these guys play? or at least not miss as many games, because it seems like now it's okay. It's like, oh yeah, whatever. Friday night, we're on TNT. We're not showing up. No big deal. We're just not here. We don't need it. There's 82 games. We don't need it.
I would say a third-party medical representative checks out the medical records and all the players before the game. If you're seriously hurt, by all means, rest up. It's a long season. There's a long playoffs. There's months of playoffs. I get it. If you're hurt, you don't need to play. If you're somewhat healthy, what if you get like 3 free passes a year to miss games, to do your thing, to rest up? No more than 3. So if you get checked out and Anthony Davis is checked out and he's ready to go and he's already used his 3 free passes, either you play in the game or you're fined your salary. And everyone who paid a ticket to that game gets 10 or 20% off. How about that?
I like the discount for the fans. Like if your stars aren't playing, discount. Like, it's a free game tonight, like NBA TV. Like we get to watch it for free because you're not showing up or something like that. Right. I don't know how it's going to work, or in the stands. I like that. I think it's really hard to convince players to want to show up if they're like, oh, well, I got my knee kind of hurts. Maybe I should take a day off so it doesn't get worse. Or like, I'm feeling okay, but tonight's a rest night so I can be good for Saturday's game. It shouldn't be like that, but it is, because I can understand. Like, I worked out 3 days in a row where I probably shouldn't have. I'm exhausted. Like, I have to work. I'm going to go play hockey tonight. I don't want to really play hockey.
You're playing hockey tonight? Oh.
Yeah, it's not good. I don't
skip a night, bro. Jeez.
Yeah, I know.
Our mutual friends. He's not going to be standing upright.
He won't be playing for a while. But yeah, it's I think it's really tough because mentally, like even being in the bubble and everything like that. But now we're out. It's still hard to play that many games back to back to back to back. You don't get a rest. You got to play. You got to be mentally there. And that's hard. Yeah. Traveling, travel back and forth. You get kind of tired even if you don't do anything.
But that's their job. And anyone who works for a corporation or for a big company, they have a certain amount of sick days that they're allowed throughout the year. And you take your sick days. And if you miss additional days, you're going to get called into HR and they're going to have a conversation. So Jeremy, you miss this many days you weren't allowed to.
You don't work for tech, but I've heard in the tech world, unlimited days off.
I heard that from someone we were with, and let's just leave it there.
Unlimited days off. So I'm just saying you might be in the wrong
honor system.
Yeah. Unlimited days off. Just
can we say the name of the company, or you want to keep it anonymous?
No. I don't know who you're talking about, but I know another one that also does the same.
Oh,
yeah. So multiple tech companies. Yeah. Yeah. So
well, I don't take sick days. I'm not one of those people.
You're working remote.
In general, NBA players, they should go through the policy and play the number of games they're supposed to. And if you don't, then you're not going to get paid the same because it's a corporation and they need to make money too.
I have 2 things. You want to do bullshit or believe or BD? Let's do some big dick energy. So the big dick energy this week.
It's you for the most epic location ever for a gathering of people.
I almost felt bad when we drove into that location for the people that were going to show up. I'm like, oh my God, this is not what I thought it was going to be. So yeah, sometimes you hit, sometimes you don't. You miss.
It was pretty driving there.
Yeah, it was actually really pretty. All right, so big dick energy this week is the first active NFL player to come out as a gay player, and also shouts out to him. He now has the top selling jersey currently for the last 3 days. So that is his big dick energy.
Now he doesn't get a cut of that, does he? Maybe he should.
He definitely should. But I think it's good. Now, we talked a few years ago. There was a player after his career. He came out. I forgot what his name was.
That was Michael Sam. I thought he was like a practice squad player at the time, but then he didn't make the Rams. He didn't. Yeah. He got cut, and then it was a big controversy. But that was a case where he was kind of a practice squad player anyway. So him coming out and doing that was a cool thing, but it didn't guarantee him making the team. Carl Nassib, we saw him on Hard Knocks for a while. Remember him breaking down the financials on the whiteboard. So we know that. I just saw a clip surface this week after his announcement, and he was and you'll like this. He was talking about how much time the player spent on Instagram, which for me that's Twitter, and how much of your life, when you break it down, it's like 1 month of your life is spent on social media. I'm like,
so crazy.
I'm spending a month on there, and it's true.
You spend a shitload of time on Twitter. You are always on. If you ever want to get a hold of Jeremy, he's not answering you on text message.
Tweet him.
He will answer his tweet.
I'll let the text pile up before the tweets. But he's a smart player. He's been in the league for years, so we know he's accomplished. I think it's amazing that he came out and did this because we know the NFL does not mirror real life, and what's acceptable in real life now is not necessarily acceptable in the NFL. And there's this macho man image of it, and it's great that he's doing this. We know there's been other gay players before who didn't feel comfortable coming out. That's just how the percentages are, and I think it's pretty awesome that he did it.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. And it's also weird when because I was like reading the comments off of like Adam Schefter or whoever, and you can just see that like the people, like, I don't know, Midwest people are not happy with it. Like, I can't believe the NFL. It's crazy because you never think those people are real when you're like living in your city or hanging out with your friends. And then you realize there's like people that like actively go out of their way to go like shame somebody or like say some mean shit to people. And that's what the internet is. Everybody just wants to go out and shame people. And we were in a town that had a lot of those people in real life, which I was kind of shocked to see.
Yeah, we heard some things ourselves, even on the boat, I think, about that. But you get in your bubble, whether you're in LA or I'm in the liberal cities that I'm traveling around, and you don't think about that as much, but it's definitely hate is out there. And for him to, it's just a super noble thing because, he's going to be judged by a lot of people and there's going to be NFL players that judge him too. So it's takes a really mentally strong person to do that.
I also think about it as his teammates. I imagine they already knew. Like, there was no way that you're going to be hanging out with all these guys all the time and not like just mention like, oh, I'm not, I'm the other side. I'm playing on this, I'm gay and I'm not, I'm into dudes, because you're traveling with them all the time. He's going to make friends. He's going to tell people, but it also shows that your teammates are willing to like keep it a secret because you want to keep it a secret. And I think that's also something.
No, you're right.
And I think that's crazy because there's probably many, many more on a ton of other teams.
That's what I was going to say. It makes you wonder how many other players are currently like that. And hopefully some of them follow in his footsteps. It'd be great if he's not the only one, knowing that there are others that exist. And maybe there's this group of 5 or 10 or however many that come out. And it's a big turning point for athletics, because we haven't seen it in most of pro sports. It's always guys who retire in the past. It's very rare that it's like an active player. And no offense to Carl Nassib, but it'd be really amazing if it was a great player who did it too in any sport. But maybe that'll be him one day. Maybe he'll play even better now.
Let's play a little bullshit or believe. So I think this was a week or two ago. Peyton Manning, bullshit or believe, is he going to Thursday Night Football? Did we talk about this? Is he going? Did you see this story?
So Amazon is trying to pair him up with Al Michaels, is what you reported recently. Amazon has the money to pay him whatever he wants. Are more people going to come and watch Thursday Night Football because of Peyton Manning? I think we've talked about that before. I don't know. Like, is the announcer going to make you turn it on versus like him not doing the game? He has a new show on NBC. Just let him do that for now.
But is it similar to getting Wayne Gretzky? Like, we need one of the faces of the sport in the past decade or, century, whatever it is, to come on our show and kind of level it up. Almost like, remember when Regis did that?
You're talking about our show?
Our show. We need somebody to come on and level us up. No, remember when like Regis, when there was NBC Sports or something, or Fox
Sports 1. Yeah.
When they launched,
crowd goes wild.
Regis had his show and then that show just kind of went away. But I think it was something like that where we just got to bring the faces in to let people know that this is a place where real football will happen. And not saying that Regis was bringing football people, but he's bringing like daytime TV watchers to his show.
Yeah, that's a good point, and that's a reason to bring in like a big star. I think the guy who can be like the next Tony Romo, who doesn't get as many reps as he should right now, is Kurt Warner. I've been banging the Kurt Warner drum for a while. I think Amazon's a good natural place for him, whether it's with Al Michaels or someone else.
But is he a big enough name? Is he too old to actually be? Because like Peyton Manning's still fresh. Like, you could still ask people that were younger than us that they know Peyton Manning.
He is, and this is a weird take, but like, I don't like Peyton Manning. Like, I know he's in all these commercials. He's like a pitchman for everything. He kind of annoys me. I never thought he was like interesting or well spoken. No. Like, I feel like Brady's a more interesting guy with all of his TB12 stuff than Peyton Manning. Maybe that's just because I'm a Brady guy, which is weird as a Dolphins fan, but I am more than Peyton. Peyton's always this like clumsy, big, lanky guy who threw a lot of interceptions and won a few Super Bowls, and that's who Peyton Manning.
But we never got to see his personality. Like, it was always like, oh yeah, like he was always kind of like mopey, kind of like Eli. Like, there was never really big energy coming out of him. But I still think he'd be good for TV because it would bring somebody in. I don't know who else could do it to kind of bring that in? Like, is Jay Cutler still looking for a job, or is he done? Is he just suing his ex-wife for?
He's big on Instagram in Nashville. He catches live animals at night. He's doing a lot of things, I think.
Cool. All right, so he doesn't need TV right now.
No, he wasn't that good. He went to Fox for a minute. He wasn't that good.
So this was the headline that I wanted to talk about. The Supreme Court ruled that the NCAA cannot stop colleges compensating for the student athletes. So this came out. So it's like a step forward to paying them. So they're not going to get a salary, but they can receive monetary benefits like tutoring, studying abroad, academic awards, and stuff like that. So it's still in the right direction, but still they can't. Can they get paid for their likeness now? Did that already happen?
Yeah, I think it starts in the future, like maybe 2022 or something. Yeah. But that did pass, which was good.
I just thought this was a big step forward for NCAA players because a lot of them, this is kind of the end of the road, right? Like a very small percentage go to professional sports if you're a basketball player, NFL player, and especially the sub-tier sports. Like, I don't even know, like lacrosse, stuff like that. Like, they're not going professional. So it would be good.
But they can get paid for something else, you're saying. Yes, like they can not from the school or from the NCAA, but they can do like a deal with the local Ford dealership to be sponsored.
I don't know. It seemed like it was monetary benefits from the school. So like, oh, if you're failing your class, we can give you tutoring, or like, oh, you're hungry, we can give you free food. So instead of
small step, I guess, a small
very,
step toward
very
normalcy.
Small. Yeah. It's still not all there.
Not great. Something though.
Scandal City. All
Scandal City. I think we have the same Scandal City, right? Baseball.
So, yeah, give it to me. I don't know.
What do you have written down? What's the novice?
I have weird. So I'm big. I love TikTok. A lot of TikToks going around. Guys like watching players like grab a little stuff from their helmet or their hat, or going over here grabbing stuff, little sticky stuff, illegal substances. That's the only thing I know. I don't know what they're doing with it. I mean, I know they're putting it on the ball, but I thought this was always a thing. I thought there was always like some kind of like substance they put on their hand to get a little more grip.
Yeah, and you're
a baseball guy.
Technically illegal. Yes, thank you for mentioning that. It's technically illegal to have these substances, but there was always this like don't ask, don't tell type of policy where they were never checked for them either. And so these are things like pine tar on a bat or on a helmet, Gorilla Glue or sticky tack or anything like that makes your hands stick to the ball more, and it gives you like this better spin rate. I can't explain the science of it. We have some astronomy friends that work in rocket science, and they can probably explain it better than me. But holding the grip and holding something sticky puts more spin on the ball. Sure. And so what we're now seeing, since baseball has begun cracking down on this, and maybe you've seen on TikTok or maybe you will, like players are like disrobing on the mound as they get checked because they're so pissed off. Like, I'm clean. So like a guy took off his jersey, another guy dropped his pants.
I saw the guy drop his pants.
Started this week.
I thought it was great. He like took off his belt, dropped his pants. Like, look at me. I got nothing.
And so it's another PR nightmare for baseball as they try to figure this out, as all nightmares for baseball are. They're all PR, and they all make them themselves. They create their own nightmares with them. I think what's interesting is you can look at the analytics of it, and you can go through the spin rates for all these really popular, high-paid pitchers. And since baseball started cracking down, so many of their spin rates have dropped significantly, like dropped 100, 200%. And maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe the weather changed. You can't like say it's such a small sample size right now. But if this holds up and we're able to see these stats on the moment that baseball started checking for these substances, that some of the best pitchers that I'm not ready to name names, but in a few weeks I will be ready to name names when it's more apparent. Mike, some of the best pitchers making like hundreds of millions of dollars, if they've been cheating and they're now average and they're on these contracts that go for like years and years, it's a really interesting situation. So more to follow closely.
So why don't they just let it legal? Because I see those baseball bats and they are gripped. They're like slimy. They're black on the bottom of where they're gripping it. So what is that? What is the difference? Why can they have that on their bat but not the ball? Just why not let everybody have it and then just say, okay, cool.
The batters would say the pine tar on the bat is to protect other humans because they don't release the bat on a swing. It's rare, but it happens when a player swings and the bat goes flying. That's dangerous for other players. It's dangerous for fans who aren't paying attention, that kind of thing. For a pitcher and the baseball, there's a problem, as we've talked about in baseball, where everyone's striking out. or hitting a home run, and there's no real offense, and offense is down in general. And so baseball's like, well, we need to do something about this. And since they started cracking down on it, offense is going back up, and which is what they want and they need. There's no safety element to the pitcher being able to spin the ball like the batter holding onto the bat.
Interesting. Yeah, because it does seem it just seems weird, because I felt like it was always part of the game, and now it's like, oh no, this was never part of the game. We just have to remove it. So yeah, I don't know what baseball's doing. It seems like every year there's something going wrong with baseball.
Yeah, they're not great at handling anything, really.
No.
I have another scandal city for baseball. This is a conspiracy theory. I wish we had fun music for it. Pete Alonso, who hit 50-some home runs two seasons ago for the Mets, a big-time hitter, he is out with the conspiracy theory, and he shared it, and so we'll all believe it. He says that Major League Baseball changes the actual baseballs in use depending on the upcoming free agent class in that season. So, for example, if there are a bunch of good hitters coming up to be free agents next year, this season, baseball would do something to all the balls in play to make them not fly as far, so the pitchers have an advantage and the baseball players make less money in their big free agent contracts. And then the opposite could be true. If there's a year, say next year, where all the pitchers are due to be free agents and there's a lot of money to be given out to pitchers, they would use a baseball that is, say, more dried out, that flies farther in the air, so the hitters have a big year, the pitchers' ERAs go up, and then they get less money in the contracts, all to benefit the owners. This is a crazy conspiracy theory, but one of baseball's best players said it, so we're going to go with it as true.
So I don't even know how to test this. I guess you could go, like, people are catching like pop flies or something, catch them, examine the balls, what's going on with the balls. But this goes back to your thing about the players like they have to play in the NBA, like go play. Yeah. Is there not a third party that checks anything? Is it kind of like Deflategate, where it's like, let me just deflate the ball?
Baseball is very mysterious, where there was a few years ago when offense went up and they basically wouldn't admit it, but everyone knew, like, the AAA baseball, the minor league baseball was different. Like, players would get called up and be like, wait, you're using this kind of ball? It's so much harder than the ball we're using in the minor league. So, like, there were things that were different, and baseball, like, never took credit, even though it was very apparent. There's ways you can do it. There's something in Colorado called a humidor. So, they play at a 5,000 feet, a mile high, the ball flies farther in elevation. They are allowed to use a humidor there to like moisten the ball or something. Then it doesn't fly as far. I don't know exactly how the science works. Big science show. Can't speak to that. There are ways to do it.
I love that conspiracy. I will believe that conspiracy, but I don't watch enough baseball. So do you see a difference in it? Do you see year to year a difference in how the balls are flying?
Recently, yeah. And it gives a reason to, like, why did baseball have these balls that were flying super far 2 years ago, and then last year, like, they took that ball away and all the pitchers did well? We'll have to track it a little better and, like, say, like, what kind of free agent class is this ahead of time. You can't say it, like, after the year. You have to say it ahead. But it's baseball's kind of in a world of shit right now, like they've been in for the last 50 years.
I have one last story. I have food news.
Nice. You're eating again?
Did you see the food news where Subway's tuna sandwich got examined, and the DNA of it, they cannot even identify what this thing was inside the tuna sandwich?
I saw the headline. I didn't know if it was real because it was such like a bizarre headline. If that's true and you've ever eaten tuna salad, can you sue Subway?
I don't know. I thought it was the weirdest thing, because I'm like, yeah, there's no way that's tuna. It's like already pre-ground up for you. It's in this like little container. Where did they get it from? I 100% believe it. I'm in. It might be a conspiracy theory. I read the article. They examined multiple sandwiches. Some came back with like trace amounts of this could be tuna, but we're not 100% sure. And then some came back like, we have no fucking idea what kind of meat this is, but it's not tuna.
We had some great options in our casino this weekend. We had Outback, which was actually the real winner. We had McDonald's and we had Subway. So if you could pick 3 of the worst American restaurants,
we ate at them all.
Possibly the 3.
Yeah, we had them all. Yeah. Outback wasn't bad. Those bloomin' onions.
We all had a bloomin' onion. Yeah, we all had one. That was the next day when I wasn't doing well with my stomach.
Yeah, sharing a room with Jeremy. He multiple visits to the bathroom. It was not good.
Okay. Let's wrap this up.
That's all I got. Go to sportshangover.com. A lot of swag up there right now. It is officially summer. Yesterday was officially summer, right? Or today, one of those days.
Yeah.
We are in summer. We have big trips planned. We're going international. Maybe we'll do a live show over there.
Wow.
Internationally. I think we should.
Wow, it'll be like noon on the East Coast of the US.
We'll go live.
It'll be good.
Yeah.
It'll be morning in California.
A lot of stuff happening. Check us out, the Sports Hangover on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter at TSH Podcast. And, of course, thesportshangover.com. If you want to get the rest of most of the reviews, hopefully we are back next week.